although I love it and it's a lot of fun, because this is my game, I make my own rules. We are going to roll this little dice here. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. For those of you that are new here, my name is Rochelle. I read a variety of books and I also have a limb difference. And today we are going to be doing something different. So normally for every month this year, we have been doing something called Defend the TBR, which is this lovely board game that I created myself. I use different cards and dice to help us go and figure out what books that we're reading for each month. And then at the end, we end up going and adding up those points and doing a little thing. We attack a monster to defend our TBR. Unfortunately, the month of June, I did read a lot of books. However, I didn't really read a lot of the books that were on our list. So just to do a little refresher, so I had to do 9 days of not buying any books. So I was on a book ban, which I was successful at that. I also had to read Night in the Moth, which was a poll pick. The pet pick we had was to read Hunger Games, and then I had a Kindle book, which was Hollow, and then I had to draw a card, which ended up going and being Bunny. And I read 2 out of 4 of those books, and I just wasn't able to go and finish reading all of those books before the month was over. And so because this is my game, I make my own rules, we are going to do something a little bit different for the month of July, because the thing is, I honestly have so many books that I need to read. A lot of them happen to be ARCs that I've either gotten through NetGalley or I've received as book mail. But aside from that, there are a lot of books that I just really want to read, especially since it is Disability Pride Month. So we're going to do something a little bit different. Now, some books that I still do plan on finishing. I do plan on finishing The Hunger Games. I did start reading it before the month of June was over. So I fully plan on going and finishing this one. So we'll still go and keep the points that were associated with reading this book, as well as Hollow. That is one that I really do want to finish reading in the month of July as well. So the points for those books will be the same. However, we're going to do a little change up where I have a bunch of books that I want to read, and every time I finish one of those, we are going to roll this little dice here, or one of the other dice, and these dice basically go up to 5. So whatever we land on, that will be the amount of points that are associated with each of the books that I'd like to read. And then at the end, we will go and still continue doing our fighting off the monster. We are very close to going and finishing off the monster for Defend the TBR. And then after we do that, I'm gonna also change up some stuff with that as well. And as always, if you have anything that you'd like to see or any changes you'd like me to make, please let me know down in the comments below. I do really want to include whatever you guys enjoy as well in these videos, because we're still working on figuring out this game, and although it's my game, I'm writing the rules, I want to also include a lot of feedback from y'all as well, so please feel free to do so. Some of the books I have picked out would be On the Bright Side by Anna Sortino. This is a book that has been on my list for the longest time. This author does go and write a lot of books that have disability representation in it. And originally I got this book as an ARC on NetGalley, but I wasn't able to go and finish it in time. But I knew I really did want to purchase my own copy. So I was able to snag this, I believe, from Book Outlet, which is somewhere that I go quite often to purchase a lot of my books. But this one, just to give you a little bit of a synopsis about it, it says, Ellie's deaf boarding school just shut down, forcing her to leave the place she considered home and return to her hearing family. But being mainstreamed into public school isn't exactly easy, so her guidance counselor pairs her with Jackson, a student who's supposed to help her adjust. Can the boy who tries to say the right things and gets it all wrong be the lifeline Ellie needs? Jackson has been avoiding his teammates ever since some numbness in his legs cost them an important soccer match. With his senior year off to a lonely start, he's intrigued when he's asked to help the new girl, initially thinking it will be a commendable move on his part. Little does he know Ellie will be the person he wants most by his side, when the strange symptoms he's experiencing amount to a life-changing diagnosis. So this is one of the books that I'd really like to read, and this is kind of why I'm doing things a little bit differently this month, because I do want to kind of have the flexibility to do some mood reading since I have so many books that I'd like to tackle, but also applying the dice so we can still kind of attribute it to my Defend the TBR, but without using the board and having it choose what books we're reading. So yeah, this is going to be like the final round, so to say. Let's see how many books I can finish and how many points I can earn so we can finish off that monster, if that makes sense. Then I said I had a lot of Kindle arcs that I'd like to read, and I believe, honestly, I have around 6 of them on NetGalley. I'll just include images of the covers here so that you can go and see them all. I'm not going to read through all of them because, like I said, there's 6 of them, so there's definitely a lot. But these are a lot of the different ones that I'd like to read. I am so thankful for all the arcs I've been getting, but I kind of bit off more than I can chew as far as NetGalley, and so many of their release dates are coming up, and I'd really like to get to talk about those books before they release because all these authors do so much hard work. The least I can do is try to do my part and help rant and rave about them because they deserve all the hype they get. Then another book I have, which also would be perfect for Disability Pride Month, is Sungbringer by Hannah Kaner. And this one I'm doing a buddy read with my friend Kat here on BookTube. This was one that I have been wanting to read for the longest time. I did read Godkiller last year, and the representation in this book not only is hard of hearing, deaf, there's also ASL in it. ASL more fit for the fantasy world in this book. And then our main character is an amputee who has a limb difference and has a prosthetic leg. And the thing that I really liked about the first book was that it was very realistic, with not only showing that the character was very much a badass and doing all these cool fighting things, but also showing at the end of the day she was very human and she had to take off her prosthetic leg and kind of give it special treatment, because if she didn't, you know, there would be some issues that she'd have. And I just loved that there was that realism with it, not only showing that this character was powerful, but also showed some very realistic pieces about being disabled. So yeah, I'm very excited to go and read this one and doing the buddy read with my friend, and I can't wait to see what my thoughts are because I know the third book came out recently, so I've really been trying to catch up. I'm gonna move you over here because the lighting is really not working with me right now. So then another one, which was an arc I got, was A Forbidden Alchemy by Stacey McEwen. This one actually came out at the beginning of the month, and I really wanted to read this in June, but just with how my TBR was set up, my reading slump and everything, I just couldn't get to it in time. So this is another one that I really want to have on my July TBR and get to. And I hope now you're realizing like why I kind of changed things up the way I did, because there's so many books, and the limitations that Defend the TBR was giving me was kind of making things a little bit difficult. So with The Forbidden Alchemy, just so that y'all get a little bit of information about it, it says Nina Harrow and Patrick Coulson are only 12 years old when they are whisked from their disenfranchised mining towns to a dazzling Bellavere city to test for magical abilities. Nina's lifelong dream is to become an artisan, a powerful elemental mage who fulfills the city's grand ambitions, while Patrick wants only to reunite with his family of craftsmen in the mines. Together, they discover a devastating secret. Artisans aren't born, but chosen. With this information, they part ways. Patrick returns home, while Nina finds her place as one of the rarest, most coveted types of artisans. I've had a lot of friends that have received this book really rave about it so much, and so I'm so excited to go and check this one out. It is a little bit of a thicker one, but honestly, I have a great variety of books on like thin reads and thick reads, so I think this will really help to diversify things, and I can maybe switch between a shorter book and a longer book just to balance things out. Then a last one for physical arc that I would like to get to is You Belong Here by Megan Miranda. This one comes out July 29th. And it says, Beckett Bowery never thought she'd return to Wyatt Valley, a picturesque college town in the Virginia mountains. Steeped in tradition, her roots there were strong. Beckett's parents taught at the college, and she never even imagined studying anywhere else, until a tragedy her senior year ended with 2 local men dead, and her roommate on the run, never to be seen again. I did read another book that I got that was written by Megan Miranda, I think last month or maybe the month before, and I really loved it, so I've been very excited to go and check this one out. I feel like her books are very quick reads as well, so this one shouldn't give me a reading slump or anything like that. Then last one for sure I would like the chance to go and read would be Heartless by Elsie Silver. I checked, and this is the second book in the Chestnut Spring series, and I really loved the first book, Flawless, and I just really want to continue reading the books in the series, especially since I just feel like cowboy romances are perfect for summer. I don't know why exactly. Maybe it's because in my hometown during the summer we had rodeos and everything. So it just feels right for me and very nostalgic. So I'm also hoping to get to this one as well. Total, we have 12 books that I really would like to read for the month of July. And I probably won't get to all of them. I might get to hopefully at least 8, since that tends to be usually the amount of books I read each month. But every time I finish one of those books, I will roll my dice and I can do a little recording, or at least like go and show y'all the amount of points that get racked up for each book I finish. And yeah, we shall see what I end up with when we do our next video. But I hope that it's okay that I changed things up a little bit for the month of July. Like I said, I really want to read a bunch of different books, and doing the game that we have for Defend the TBR, although I love it and it's a lot of fun, being in a reading slump and also having specific books I want to read, it doesn't really help to have them chosen by a TBR game, especially since I kind of want to read whichever book fits the mood and feels just right for that moment. So we'll see how this goes. I'm excited for this little change and to maybe freshen things up a little bit. But yeah, I'm excited to see how it goes. So maybe if you got this far and you're excited for things, leave a guitar. There's a little guitar right here on the cover of Heartless. So just leave a guitar in the emotes if you don't know what to comment and you made this far in the video. And I just want to say I appreciate you all so much for being here. We are now over 2,000 subscribers on the channel, which is just wild because I never thought that would happen. When I started this booktube channel, I was hopeful that maybe I'd have 20 people that were willing to go and watch my videos, and now there's so many of you and I'm just extremely thankful. I'm so excited to continue talking about books with everyone and reading a variety of books because that's just what I like to do. I don't like experiencing FOMO and missing out on so many books that I never picked up because I was not reading for so many years while I was in college. So yeah, I'm excited for this journey and I'm excited for y'all to be on this journey with me. Thank you again so much. And as always, please remember that you're worthy and capable of amazing things. Bye, friends.